Hello, my name is Kerry Martell, and I am an independent investigator of a criminal conspiracy, and this is part two of that report. So, in the first part, we examined the Newberg Equity in Education Group, which operates in Newberg, Oregon. I exposed around 600 people who are part of what I believe to be a criminal conspiracy against the Newberg School Board District, particularly the members of that school board who voted to ban Black Lives Matter flags and other politically divisive symbols from the campus, and who were harassed by what I think is, basically a mafia, right? And I've detailed all of that. But what I didn't say in that report is that this particular group in Newberg is just a splinter cell of a much larger group called Progressive Yamhill, which, as you are about to see, I was already inside of. For the same amount of time, I have been a part of the Newberg Equity and Education Group. This report is very important because it's going to expose that this problem here in Newberg is not just a problem in Newberg. It is a problem in, I think, the entire state of Oregon and many other states in the United States. You see, there's this group called the Indivisible movement. They have a very patriotic sounding name to do a lot of very unpatriotic things, such as harass elected officials and try to force them to do various things. You might have seen some news reports of people harassing some Democrats for not voting along the party line. Those are Indivisible members. What's most important for regular people who are seeing this to understand is this is not a fairy tale. This is, a lot of them want you to think this is no big deal. It's just a small group of some random people. No. This is a nationwide organized movement specifically designed to subvert our democracy, specifically in the words of the Oregon Board of Education Vice Chair, dismantle and rebuild America. And what do they want to rebuild it into? A racially segregated society. That's what equity means within the terminology of the language. You see, they use Orwellian double-speakish sort of subversion of our language to make their actions appear virtuous and good, when in reality they are intended to do the opposite. Their solutions to problems are not actual solutions. They're intended to cause problems because they want the country to collapse, because they believe that the country is unfair. They think it's unfair and it needs to be destroyed and rebuilt. That is the objective of the group. A lot of people who are moderates, many Americans, I think, have this mistaken idea that our democracy is this super strong thing. It's so complicated. There's no way anybody could ever dismantle it. But they're wrong. There are plenty of democracies and republics that have been toppled, and they've been toppled by all the same things. They're not toppled by the barbarians at the gates. No. They are toppled when neighbors turn against neighbors. When neighbors turn against neighbors. And that is what the Indivisible movement is designed to do. They are in our government. They are in our local government. They're in our school boards. They're in our cities. They're in the committees. They engage in systematic conspiracy against the American people everywhere in this country, it seems. And as you will see in the progressive, I think regressive, but the progressive Yamhill group, they have broken many, many laws to do what they've done. They don't disclose that they're part of this criminal conspiracy when they encourage their members to apply for committee positions while they simultaneously are holding elected seats and vote on those members. They don't disclose this stuff. Of course not. Why would they? It's a conspiracy, guys. And I don't mean conspiracy the way that television shows are using it. I mean it the actual, literal definition of what a conspiracy is, which is a group of people who have created invisible government specifically to engage in crimes, specifically to defraud people, specifically to obtain benefit, both financial and personal, that otherwise they would not be able to obtain if their activities were in the light of day. I have had people tell me that I shouldn't do this, not because I'm not correct. They are afraid of the consequences of exposing over 2,000 people by name in a spreadsheet, such as can be downloaded from my article. I've already done this to around 600 members of the Newburgh cell, but now I am doing it to the entire cell operating in Yamhill County, and I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it. It has to be done. It has to be done. Someone has to do this, and that's going to be me, because I found it, and there's no way I'm going to permit this. As I said before, I am a lion in the tradition of Theodore Roosevelt. I'm going to grab them out of the shadows, and I'm going to pull them into the light. I have zero tolerance. Zero. And I have no sympathy for the consequences of their criminal activities being brought to life. Every single member had access to the exact same information I've only had access to for a few weeks, and I've already put this whole thing together and exposed them. What did they do? Oh, they were complicit. They were complicit by not reporting it. They were complicit by participating in it, benefiting from secret Facebook mafia club. I have no sympathy. None. Our republic is in peril. It is time for Americans, people who still believe in the American dream, to stand up, to stop paying so much attention to YouTube and Netflix or hobbies that for some unfathomable reason people have decided is the primary purpose of their life. It is time to start paying attention to what is really important. And what is really important is maintaining our democratic system so that it's functional, so you can enjoy all those things. Do you think these types of comforts are commonplace in the world? They are not. There are places in this world that are a dystopian nightmare that we basically watch television shows about. There are entertainment, but for many people it's their regular frickin' life. The type of society, the type of stability that we enjoy in America was hard fought. It required enormous sacrifices, and we have inherited it. How are we maintaining it? It's falling apart. It's falling apart because there's a group actively trying to dismantle it. And it's falling apart because regular people are letting it happen. Because they can't be bothered to pay attention. Or they're afraid of going against the grain. Of telling the people who are wrong that they're wrong. That's not what America's about. America's the land of the free. I'm free. I can speak my mind. I can expose your wrong. Single-handedly. That's what America is about. That's what America allows a person to do. And I'll defend it, even if I'm the only person standing on the battlefield. It is time for people to stand up. It is time to pay attention. It is time to get involved in local politics, because we are facing existential threat to our democracy at the municipal and county and state levels. It's not in DC. It's in our own backyards, where our neighbors are conspiring against us. Without further ado, welcome to part 2 of my expose. Thank you.